Hello and welcome to the 9th episode of In the Kitchen with a Single Dad. I'm the Single Dad. I'm your host Nate Mercer, and tonight I've been inspired by this cold and rainy weather we've got in the upstate of South Carolina right now to make one of my favorite pots of soup. Because you think traditionally Americana soup and hot sandwiches is something that's always found in comfort food. A classic would be tomato soup with grilled cheese. Well, we're not gonna make tomato soup. We're gonna make a creamy bacon mushroom soup and a spin on the grilled cheese that I'm sure you're gonna love. So let's get into that right now. One tip I can tell you guys, and I can't believe I haven't already, is when you're cutting on a cutting board, like it's slippery on your counter. So to prevent that from sliding and you cutting yourself, just wet like a towel or a washcloth or something small. As long as it's wet, throw it right up underneath your cutting board. And that really makes it more of a firm working surface so you don't cut yourself. One thing about cooking is all it is techniques and timing. Since I'm about to throw the diced bacon in the pot to get it going for the soup, I'm going to go ahead and throw the sliced bacon on the pan to go ahead and crisp up, because we need the bacon slices for our grilled cheese sandwiches tonight. So we're just going to go ahead and line these out in the pan like this. So once you get your bacon rendered down to where it's starting to crisp up and all the fat's releasing out of it, you want to go ahead and add about a tablespoon, let's just say about a half a tablespoon of garlic, minced garlic, and your whole diced Vidalia onion into it. And let the onions and garlic go down with the bacon. After that, we're going to add all of our mushrooms and let them cook. So once you get your onions cooked to where they're like translucent and they're really releasing their flavor or their aroma, and the garlic, you can smell it, go ahead and throw in all your mushrooms. It looks like a lot, but it's going to cook down to really nothing almost. And go ahead and season them up, salt and pepper. Salt is hygroscopic, which means it attracts water and it like really pulls it out of mushrooms whenever you're cooking them down. So I like to go ahead and season my mushrooms in the beginning of it to help just get them cooking a little faster. The bacon's all cooked off for our grilled cheese sandwiches, and that'll be done in the time that your soup gets to this point. The mushrooms are cooked down, all the water's cooked out. What that term is called is au sec. So right now we will go ahead and add 32 ounce, 2-pounder quart of chicken broth. And we're just going to bring this up to a boil. And then after it comes to a boil, we're going to add in a pint of heavy cream and then melt in our goat cheese. Alright, so now we got it boiling. Everything's rolling real good. We're going to go ahead and add a pint of heavy cream to it. Once that comes up to boil, we're going to go ahead and melt in our goat cheese. We're real close to being done with this soup, so I'm actually going to turn it down to where it just simmer. And we're going to go ahead and start our grilled cheese. I went ahead and picked up a sliced brioche loaf. I wanted a nicer bread for the sandwiches. I also bought a smoked Gouda cheese. You can use whatever cheese you have around the house, but using a nicer cheese for this sandwich, you'll appreciate it whenever you get to eat it. So we're just gonna spread some whipped butter on the outside of our bread, and we're gonna grill that, then throw our cheese on, then pop it in a 400-degree oven to go ahead and melt the cheese. Once you start getting some color on your bread, go ahead and pop it into the oven to melt the top of that cheese like this. Boom! Okay, the soup's ready for the cheese. So we're gonna go ahead and drop our goat cheese in there, which I've just split the sides of the packs. And we're gonna go ahead and drop both packs right into our simmering soup. And then we're gonna hit it with an immersion blender or a stick blender. If you don't have one, that's okay. If you have a blender, you can go ahead and put some of the soup into the blender and mix it in parts. But I'm just gonna go ahead and drop this in there and puree the entire thing. All right, guys, got our grilled cheese out the oven, bacon's cooked, sliced the beefsteak tomato. I'm gonna go ahead and season it up with a little salt, cracked pepper on our tomatoes. I'll go ahead and add some of this nice bacon to our grilled cheese here, and then throw on some of the tomato slices. Oh yeah, that's gonna be so good. Give them a cut on a bias here. Look at that, melted smoked Gouda, bacon, tomato, going with our soup. That's what I call a spin on a classic right there. Not much to plating tonight's meal, but we're just gonna go ahead and get the soup in whatever kind of bowl you got. And I love this soup, so I'm gonna fill mine up because I'm gonna eat this one up. On the plate, we can go ahead and turn our sandwich out. And I did chop up some green onion that we can use as a garnish for our soup. And then boom, there you have it. Another dish that looks like it come from a restaurant, but it didn't. You learned how to make this right here in the kitchen with a single dad. All right, guys, finally the time that we've been waiting for on this cold and rainy night while the soup's cooking, where we can sit down and have meal as a family and a conversation. Connor, where are you at right now?
In the kitchen with Single Dad.
And Madison, what can they do for us, honey?
Like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the support and for sharing our videos on Facebook like you do each week. And like always, until next time,
See you later.
we'll see you later.
Boom!
Boom!